Hi, this is your Vignesh, and today we are going to speak about a very important subject, and that subject requires some serious introspection and discussion in the society. So far, not many discussion have happened around that subject. The reason why is that because most of the people does not understand the technical aspect of that subject. The subject is usage of shell companies for corruption. Don't you feel that there is a requirement for a serious discussion around this matter? Yes, it it requires. We need a serious discussion over this matter. Usage of shell companies for corruption is a very serious issue. We have seen several news reports regarding that. Still, we are not coming up with strong discussion over it. Is unfortunate. Before we start our discussion, we should understand how these shell companies and how this corruption works. Suppose you are a person, you are a company which want a favor from an official, probably a bureaucrat, political bureaucrat or other bureaucrat, probably a political bureaucrat. If you want a favor from him, what we you will do? In the traditional method, you will meet him and we will talk a deal and you agree to pay some kind of bribe, or it may be in different methods, some kind of bribe for in exchange of the favor he's ready to give. But in what happens in the corruption through shell companies is, in instead of paying the bribe directly to the official, this company which want the favor give that money, paid that money directly to a shell company which is linked to the official. The shell company, if we say what is the nature of shell companies, like shell companies are something which claims to give a lot of services, but in fact they have no capability to give any kind of services they claims to give. Most of times they will not have legitimate directors. Most of time they will always have a director which is closely linked to the official, uh, which is doing favor for the money which a person who need the favor is paying to the shell company. And that is how this works. The entire framework may sound complicated, but it's very simple. The person, the company want a favor from an official, and the company, instead of paying the bribe directly to the official, pays that money to a shell company which claims to provide a lot of services, probably intellectual services, technical services, technological services, or marketing services, whatever services they claims to provide. Instead of instead of paying giving any services, they take the money from the company, and uh, the company will not claim that the company, what they want is not service. Actually, they simply want a favor from an official, so the company will not claim that they will not receive any service from the this kind of shell companies. And shell companies which receive the money uh, for this official, and what they do is they simply try to make the legitimate, transform that illegitimate money to an legitimate money by simply manipulating the records. They how they do is that they claim that they have received the money in exchange of the service they provide to the company, the other company. But we already know they will not have the capability to do any kind of services. Most of the time they will not even have a legitimate directors. Most of the time they will not even have even the capable employees which can provide the kind of service that they claims to provide. That is the overall nature of the environment when what we are talking about. The thing is, we have to talk about the solution. We are not simply here to claim that there are a lot of corruptions happening around, and we are not simply persons who are blindly saying that there is corruption happening. And our intention is simply that there is a problem happening in the society and there should be a solution. Always our focus is to create a solution, and my focus is to suggest a solution. We can think of thousands of solutions for this issue, but in the advanced world, the advanced, technically advanced society where we live in, we have to think of technical solutions that will be more permanent, that will be something that can give more permanent solutions, more advanced solutions, more futuristic and more effective solutions. That's why we have to think of more advanced technical solutions to these issues. If we think in that direction, we can think of a particular kind of solution, that is blockchain technology. Blockchain technology is now revolutionizing several sectors. It has already revolutionized several sectors, including banking, healthcare record management, particularly, and even elections. It has the capability to influence many sectors. It has the capability to transform many sectors. It has the capability to bring transparency, accountability, and more democratic characteristics to many sectors. And that means it it can even bring a solution. It can even suggest a solution to the present issue that we are going through, that is corruption through shell companies. And how is the big question. The how can be easily answered if we have an little knowledge about, if we do have a few idea, if we have a serious idea about the characteristics or the abilities of this blockchain technology. The blockchain technology ensures transparency and immutability. That is the important part. Blockchain technology simply functions. It functions like a digital ledger, which is which store data in a democratic way, in a decentralized democratic way. That is the strength of this blockchain technology. That assures transparency. That kind of decentralized storage of data is what assures transparency and immutability. That means, in the case of this corruption through these kind of shell companies, what they can offer, that what kind of strength, what kind of service they can offer is like, they can ensure that every record, every transaction, every record related to the companies, every record related to the government or companies or whatever it is, what that we want to bring to this platform is transparent and it remain immutable. No record can be manipulated. That means we cannot do any kind of record manipulation and say that we have provided the service to other person and we have received money for no reason. That kind of manipulation, that kind of record manipulation cannot be made. The other thing is the services, the other things that come with the blockchain technology. That the smart contract, for instance, we can take smart contracts. Smart contracts is like a digital set of rules that we can implement on the blockchain system. That means when we come to this issue, we can say that we can introduce a system. We can introduce a certain kind of digital requirements that a company have to meet when they are sending a transaction to other company. Like, if a particular company named A want to send a certain amount of money to a company named B, it it have to ensure that the A receives certain kind of services from the B. That if that kind of smart contract is already built, and if that kind of smart contract is already established, then it makes it very impossible to send a give a certain kind of money to a company B from the company A without reason. And it will not it make it very impossible, make it completely impossible for a company B to receive money without giving any services, without providing any services. That makes the system lot more democratic, lot more transparent, lot more trustworthy and accountable. And the other thing is like the identity issue. Like we already said, most of the this kind of shell companies will not have an uh, uh, a proper director. Most of the times the identity of director will be will be fake, or a lot of issues are related to identity and identity of individuals, and that issue can easily be sorted out, because it what I have already told you, this works on a decentralized framework where the entire data, entire system records and everything are stored in the decentralized system, which is transparent in nature. And the other thing is, any person that this kind of transparency ensures that any person can verify any record that is bought to that is placed in this blockchain framework. That means any journalist, not if it is not journalist, any person can actually verify the transaction. That makes, that ensures that we have bring a greater transparency in the system. That transparency is extremely essential in a democratic system. If we ask that, if you are asking, if you are telling that it is a kind of ideal society that we are speaking about, uh, I can simply say that it is, I'm not speaking about an idealistic society. Maybe it sounds idealistic, but it is not, it is not something that we cannot implement, because what we have, the strength, what we have is the strength of our workforce. We have a strong workforce which has technological caliber. A section of our workforce have is highly technically very sound, and we can actually use, if we use a small percentage of our technically advanced workforce, we can implement everything in a very decent way. And the other thing is where we can find the money. It is a silly question if we say that, if a small portion of the money that we are losing because of this corruption is channelized to implement this kind of framework, we can easily implement this kind of framework. Don't you think so? We can easily implement this kind of framework. Only thing is, we should have will. We should have a will to implement this kind of framework. If we want to implement this kind of framework, we have to implement it from the panchayat level, from the local level to the central level. We have to implement the framework in all the important sectors. We have to bring in to the framework even the private sectors. Then only we can actually ensure that the complete transparency is achieved by our system. And uh, it is, we cannot simply say that, we cannot simply dream that our establishment will come forward with this kind of innovative ideas to bring transparency to our system. It will not happen. It will never going to happen. If some changes we want to achieve in the society, if we are seriously interested to bring a strong change in society, only thing is, the only possibility is that our youngsters should come forward. Youngsters should come forward with an intention to give service to society. And I'm sure that a lot of our youngsters can provide free service to society for a better future. And most of the youngsters will be ready to give that, because we have a very powerful youth in our country. We have very powerful youth population in the country which have big dreams. We have very powerful youth population in the country which have big dreams, which have big aspirations, which want the country to be a global superpower. And to become a global superpower, we need transparency. Corruption is a cancer that will kill us eventually. If we can eliminate corruption from our society, we can implement modern technologies to ensure there is no corruption, our global superpower aim is simply achievable. Only that we youngsters should come forward to implement this. The choice is yours.